Welcome to another episode of Positive Solutions for Life. This is Peggy Meyer. Today's guest is Dr. Theresa Smith. Dr. Theresa has combined her extensive background in health, including studies in reflexology, massage, and chiropractic, with cutting-edge techniques in brain rewiring, energy alignment, and subconscious transformation. With this deep understanding of how the mind and body are connected, Dr. Theresa founded the Success Zones, where she helps women who feel stuck despite years of inner work break free from limitations, step into alignment, and create a life of true freedom and fulfillment. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Theresa.
Well, thanks, Peggy. I appreciate you having me. It's going to
Yeah,
be fun.
it is going to be fun. I am so excited because I too got into the field of psychology, at least in my background, and into mental health because I really loved just learning about how the mind works. So, and I know that's part of some of your story too. And so I'm just so excited for our conversation. So with that, can you share a little bit more about about you, your journey, and how it has led to where you are today?
All righty. Well, about 11 years ago, a couple things happened in my life. One, I was viciously attacked, and the guy broke my face, and that's fine. It's not my story. It led me to my story. And then I also discovered at that time, well, somebody told me at that time, well, you created that. And I'm like, why would I create that? That's disgusting. Why would I? I don't need to create that to get to somewhere else. So I went on a search, like, so how the mind works. And
Mhm.
I do understand now that we do look for that which we know and that which is familiar. But anyway, I didn't create that, but I used it to propel myself and to learn things so that I could help myself more and help other people more. It's kind of who I'm helping, is that woman that's stuck and frustrated, and I've done all the self-help books. That was me.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. And at the same time, as a chiropractor and all that learning was coming in, I heard that 95% of dis-ease, and we say dis hyphenated ease,
Mhm.
is from what you think and feel. And I'm like, well, whoa, if that's true, what am I doing as a chiropractor? I'm adjusting the same people for 25 years and they have the same issues. So it clicked in and it made sense.
Yeah.
So that's what sent me on my journey to learn more about the mind
Mm.
and how to direct it and manifest. And, I got into all of it. I'm law of attraction, Esther Hicks, access consciousness, you name it. But the ones that I stuck with are MAP, Colette Stryker, and she does her work off Dr. Fleet's work. Christopher Duncan, Magnetic Mind, and William Whitecloud. He's one of my favorites. So I went and studied all those things, got certified in whatever you can get certified in. And then I have this ability to what I call Reader's Digest. Um, so I took all that information from everywhere and I said, okay, if everybody knew how the mind worked, they could direct it. It's not woo woo. There's no woo woo involved in manifestation or getting your desires. So I studied about the mind. So I just am finishing up my book called The Success Zones.
Ooh.
Yeah, I never thought I'd write a book. Anyway, I did.
Well, I was going to
It's
ask, like, I didn't see that in your bio about a book. I'm like, I think there's a book coming up, like, or should be. And okay, good. We're going to look for that.
Yeah, there is a book, and it's so funny because I know I'm working with Betsy Chassey, and she is the producer of What the Bleep Do We Know? Do you
Mm,
remember that movie?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so and I've done 3 chapters in 3 of her books that are all best-selling, so that's fun. So those books are fun. So yeah, it came down. I probably, when I said I'd be on your show, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to write a book. Anyway, the book is almost done.
Nice.
Uh,
Yes.
I know it's short because I'm to the point.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if you knew how your mind worked, especially the ego, so something I always tell everybody, I love to teach. That's what doctor means, is teacher. I love to
Mhm.
teach. Um, when you want to go do something, like I went to write this book and my ego popped up and went, who are you? Like, why do you think you could do that? Nobody wants to read your book. Like, everybody's already written everything you've done and said. I mean, it's already all out there. And I said, yeah, well, gonna write the book anyway. Because while the ego is lovely, it will stop you from doing everything.
Mhm.
It will make sure to tell you that you aren't capable, you don't deserve, you're not worthy. And that's old programming from when we were children.
Yeah.
So I teach everybody about the mind and then many other things. So my goal with the whole success zones is not to just teach everyone how your mind works, how to use it, but also I take you into getting into your heart so that you know your true desires. Because I don't know about you, Peggy, but how many times have you said, "Oh, I can't do that,"
Hmm.
but your heart really wants it.
Yeah.
Your heart really, and your heart will keep knocking on that door until
Yep.
you handle it,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep. It'll just keep whispering or yelling at you. And even if that ego says, no, 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 your heart just still goes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's where we make our aligned choices with. We hear about alignment all the time. You must be aligned. Well, okay. So, energetically, let's do the chakras, let's do the meridians. That's not what that means. It's what's in your heart. That's what you need to be aligned with.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, so I work on that. I teach how to get into your heart and listen to it and choose from there
Hmm.
because choosing is also really important.
Hmm.
Um, I think there's so many of us coming out with the same information, and I learned a long time ago, like 50 years ago, that there are no original thoughts, which is amazing. So I just saw another woman about my age doing something similar, and I love her already. I haven't met her, but and I'll give her here. We'll give her a lead. The Success Codes by Dr. Louise, and here I am, the Success Zones by Dr. Teresa,
Right, right.
and I and and ego goes, oh, but my super conscious goes, yes, she can reach people. She can,
Hmm.
however you get the message is however you get the message.
Right.
I'm not for everybody. So I'm so excited there's someone else out there's so many of us out there
Yeah.
spreading this word that if you know how to direct your mind, if you can go into your heart, if
Hmm.
you can learn to listen to that intuition, you can have your heart's desires. What I tell everybody about the ego is like, yeah, you hear that little voice, you say, thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to go that way, but thank you. Yeah, appreciate the concern, but I'm going for that because that's what my heart wants.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's just like a cool little tip because I was writing down like, how do you do that? How do you just say, oh, thank you, no, thank you,
Just
kind of.
like that.
And it's just like, I'm going to choose this.
Right. First, you must observe and understand that that's egoic.
Mhm.
And I get into that in the book as well. I have everybody do their Enneagrams
Mm. Yep.
because you need to know how you operate. It's okay how you operate. The concept of right and wrong is not good.
Mhm. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
and I'm so brainwashed into that. I still say right, wrong, good, bad. It isn't that. It's whatever is expansive, whatever makes you feel
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the yes, that's the good. Whatever makes you feel
Hmm.
is the bad, is the no. So you want to go for the stuff that makes you feel expansive.
Hmm.
So, but ego always shuts that down. So yes, just thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Shut up. I'm going that way.
Right. Right. We have to be direct with ourselves because that
Yes,
no, that ego is gonna, get into those wishy-washy areas and just trying to expand that into what you don't want.
exactly. Exactly. And you still have the other parts of the mind that are doing things. They're, you know, it, when something comes at us, our brain deletes, distorts, and generalizes everything. So you're not getting the truth.
Right.
So,
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, how off. I mean, like that, and I would say add judgment to that. Yeah.
oh, exactly. Which is why I also take people through, everybody's really into the shadow right now, their shadow side. Um, from what I've learned and from what I've observed and read and done, you only need to do one meditation, one journaling with your shadow. It has things to tell you. And then it's going to be quiet. It's not something you want to get rid of. You don't want to kill the ego. You don't want to kill the shadow. You want to embrace all of you.
Hmm.
No
Yeah.
judgment.
Yeah.
No judgment. We're we're all so interesting. It's so funny. And I'm on my journey. How can I judge I judge my journey enough. I'm not,
Yeah.
especially not going to judge yours. So I tell everybody, yeah, without judgment, whatever pops in,
Yeah.
just let it, just let it,
Yeah.
just let it be.
Because you can't
Yeah,
separate yourself from yourself.
you
I'm,
right. We already have enough parts, as you know, as every trauma happens, a part of you breaks off in your mind. And that part gets buried and buried and buried and buried. And sometimes you can never access it and you don't need to.
mhm.
Everybody's looking for their what's wrong. You don't have to. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing broken in you. It's about loving that part of you, saying thank you, loving it, and choosing differently.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's it. You're never going to resolve whatever that is ever. You can think, oh, I've heard it from people for years. I'm sure you have too. Oh my God, I thought I took care of that.
Yeah.
I thought I healed that.
It's still part of you.
Always there.
It's there. And it'll come out at different times.
Yes,
You don't know when it's going to come out. Something's going to hit you, that thing's going to pop up, and you're like, wait a minute, I dealt with that, like, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but it's still part of you.
exactly. And that I think is part of the issue with what everybody's doing. You can never get rid of that. You we need to just learn to love it,
Hmm.
accept it, and choose to not focus on it
Yeah.
because whatever you focus on is your reality.
Hmm. Yeah. 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 If you think it's, crappy outside, it's going to be crappy outside. And
Whatever you believe.
yeah.
Whatever you believe is whatever meaning you put on it is whatever meaning you put on it. Like I hear people just yesterday, I was having dinner with a friend. She said, oh, that's I need a GoFundMe. I go, I'm gonna stop you right there. You do not need a GoFundMe. You are not disabled. You can do this. And
Hmm.
she looked at me and she goes, you're right. I can do this. And I go, yes, you can do it. You don't,
Hmm.
yes, you can need support from friends for your goal, but keep focusing, you're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all. We have to remain focused on our desires. Life happens, bumps in the road happen. They happen to me every day.
Hmm.
Uh, which is why I also have a process I call a clarity process. It's kind of like a pro and con, but
Hmm.
it's more about like, say you have an issue. What would you rather have? And then you go through the questions, and then you go through all the questions on what you'd rather have, and you decide which way are you going.
Yeah.
You going with the power or are you going with the victim?
Right.
It's a choice,
Hmm. Yeah.
but it's good to have a process to look at that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Because, I mean, we have that power within us. We have that power to choose our thoughts. We have that power to choose our reality of what we see. We can say, yeah, thank you for the messages, from the past, but I don't have to continue it.
Right.
It's going
Yeah,
to
you
be
don't.
there, but I don't have to like make it a reality every day.
No, that is a choice. And I understand that at first, when you start choosing, it's challenging.
Hmm.
However, if you start every day, so I used to start with something years ago before I started all this mind work, is I used to take all my worries and I'd visually put them in a basket. I was quite the worrier. I was
Hmm.
very good at it. And I'd put them in the basket and I'd yell at God and say, you said you could handle this. So here you go. Up it went. And because somebody shared that with me, and I used to do that probably every minute because that's how good of a worrier I was.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then
And
that is who you became.
then eventually I didn't have to do that.
Hmm.
Right. So every time you tell the ego, hush, shush, I'm going that way, but thank you, it gets easier and easier.
Hmm.
So it is a one day at a time
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
But so is life. Life is a one breath at a time.
It is. And we've handled it all the way up to this point. So why can't we
That's
handle it some more?
we do not give ourselves credit for what we have accomplished.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I have people do what's called a completion post. When you complete something, you should write it out, journal it. And I also recommend red pen
Mm.
because your brain sees red better for this certain thing. So you journal out what you completed, and guess what? Then all the parts of your mind stop looking for answers to that. They're
Mm.
like, oh, we could look for other things now.
That's
But we need
interesting.
to pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah. It's like celebrating wins. Like, you
Yes.
completed it. Like, And I love the red pen thing because you know what? We all because we need to highlight it.
We do.
We need to
We
highlight
do.
our wins.
Yeah. So I do this thing every day called my daily vision practice. It's literally I decide two of my choices every day that I have already listed, and I focus on that for the day. And I ask how would that make me feel, because that is very important. How does it make you feel?
Yeah.
Um, what I'm grateful for. I'm reading from it.
Yeah.
Also, other tasks I get to do today, because there are other chores to be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I also go through, yesterday I felt frustration or negativity, because it's important to recognize that,
Hmm.
just to make a note of it. And
Yeah.
what did you decide to do? Did you decide to be the victim about it, or did you get empowered?
Mm.
But it's good to note it, because otherwise it just gets buried, and
Yeah.
then that pile
Yeah.
erupts.
Yeah. It just like shouts out at you and just all comes at you at once, right?
Right. So I just make a note of that. And then I ask my intuition, what do I get to do today towards my choices? Like anything. And I'm going to tell you, I put things off. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Per-
Yeah.
and some people like to call this procrastination. Well, sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Or is it waiting for that magical moment when, instead of taking 8 hours, it takes 5 minutes? So you got to listen. So, for example, one day I got the answer. My intuition said, well, you want to work on that project on the computer. You need to go plant some flowers. What? Plant flowers? How's that going to get the typing done? Well, because then the ideas flowed out of the computer in 5 minutes, and I had lovely flowers as well.
Yes. Because sometimes
So,
we force ourselves, I have to get this done. I have to get this done. I have to get this done. And it's going to take forever to do
yeah,
when you're just
yeah, because I
crushing it
hate it.
out, taking a break, doing something in nature, something that doesn't require brain power. And you get back and it's like, wow, this is really easy.
Exactly. And that's how it works.
If
Yeah.
we're just aware of it.
And that's the thing. And that's why in the book, it's also a workbook as well. I'm not just having you read, I'm having them do.
Hmm.
And the goal with the book and with the coaching and the course that will be coming soon is that you can do this on your own. There is help if you need it, but this is how you do it.
Hmm.
Because I don't want you stuck to me forever. I'm not going to be here. I want to teach people how to fish, how to garden.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Plant the
You-
seeds and let them,
yeah.
let them do it.
Yeah. And no, you wouldn't need any more self-help books, because now you can help yourself,
Right.
because you can see where you operate from, your heart, you know how to listen to your intuition, your shadow, you have clarity, you have manifestation techniques now. I use a manifestation tree.
Nice.
So that's what my program is about, because I love it, because that's how I live my life,
Yeah.
and
Oh my
every
God.
day is an adventure. And boy, the clarity process, I use that almost every day, because people come at you.
Yeah. Well, I really think clarity is key in anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to know
Yes.
yourself, but you also got to be clear on, your vision, on where you want to go, what you want to do, and all of that. So, how do you help people with that? I mean, because I feel like that's a lost art for a lot of people.
Okay, well, I take them how to choose an aligned choice, and that's
Okay,
a heart
that's good. Yep.
meditation as well. Yeah, take you through a heart meditation, and you journal. And the thing is, dream big. That people,
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
know, what is it you desire. So I'm moving to Maui.
Yay. Can I come
It's a
visit?
desire, huh?
Can I come
Yes, you
visit?
could come visit. Of course, yes, because I'm going to be teaching out of the Wailea Healing Center. So I'm moving to Maui. Every day is one day closer. Do I know how it's all going to fit? No. And that's the secret too. You cannot know how the magic will happen. That's the fun of the ride.
Yeah. That's the journey part.
It is the journey part. So while I'm where I am, I love it here. I love every day, but there's no doubt I'm focused. My reality, I'm going to Maui.
Yeah.
And every day is just something different towards that, or whatever other goals I have.
Hmm. Hmm.
no matter what life brings. But yeah, you're not supposed to know how. So when you come from the heart, you need to really just dream as big as you can. You do not have to know how. You do not have to have the background. You don't have to, none of that. Zero.
Hmm.
Have the desire. It will, and when you learn to focus your mind and your intuition and focus on that reality, it will happen.
Yeah. Because so many people
Yeah.
get stuck in the how. Like they have this dream and then they go right into the logistics of it. Like, how's that going to work? And then they get overwhelmed and stuck. Like they lose that because they can't see the connections from, where they're at to where they want to be.
Yeah.
But we don't know how life is
No,
going to unfold. The
no, we
magic
have
of the
no
world.
clue.
Yeah.
I I mean, for example, so my daughter, it's my daughter's idea to move to Maui. Um, and it's working out very well. She's going to get there ahead of me. However, so we were thinking, next year. Well, her apartment complex caught on fire.
Oh,
Oh, now her stuff is still there. We haven't gotten her stuff, but guess what? That means she's going now. Would have never planned that.
no, no, you can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't make this stuff up. So, so it's like, well, I guess you're going now.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So, a few things to
Right.
tie up, but yeah, she's going to wrap it up and go, and I'm super proud because that's everybody's like that's a big. I'm like, well, that's an opinion if I ever heard one. It's a move.
It's a move.
It's a move.
Yeah.
I mean, I moved to where I am 5 years ago, and in the house before that, I was there 22 years. I never thought I'd do this.
Yeah.
So it's a choice.
It is a
What
choice.
do you, yeah, what do you choose?
Yeah. And if you're
And choose,
focusing on the dream and letting go of the how, it
yeah,
often can, like your daughter, could just like nobody can dream that. I mean, nobody can like manifest that. Like, you can't manifest the house, like how it's going to happen,
no,
because all of those things that happen are learning experiences to get you to where what you need to grow and what you need to learn in order for you to achieve that, I think, desire goal you have. And so
exactly.
that's one thing, like
And
when you talked about earlier, I was thinking it's like, well, you kind of manifested that or whatever, like, those bad things or whatever. And it's just like,
yeah,
no, I couldn't
no, but what do
manifest
you
the
do
good
with it?
things either. It's like,
Yeah, but what do you do with it? That's the thing. What do you do with it?
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I mean, just like your daughter is just like, well, this is a house, apartment fire. Oh crap. Now what? I'm going to have to find another apartment, whatever. Could have not
my
even
boss.
thought about, oh, this is my opportunity.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's on it. Well, we both know. So it's like, okay, well, one day closer.
Yay, yay. And they get there faster, right?
Yeah. And that's for whatever anyone desires. I've heard so many stories. I'm sure a lot of people have. This person was this, they wanted that, they got there. How did they do it? They focused on that and
Hmm.
they went. And yeah, the bumps, whatever, but you still focus on that.
Yeah, yeah. And you have to tell your ego, thank you, but no thanks.
Thanks for sharing. Shut up. I'm going that way.
I'm
I
going this
mean,
way. I mean,
I literally do that.
well, I mean, hearing you say that and just being so blunt about it is just like, I've got to get a little bit stricter or a little bit more, blunt with it.
Yeah. Yeah, because the ego will lie to you all day. It's the super conscious you want to hook into.
Mhm.
Um, which is the matrix or whatever people, but we're all connected. So the
Mhm.
super conscious, and that's where you kind of like, okay, this is what I desire, and like bring it. Yes,
Mhm.
you have to take action, of course, but
Right.
that's your intuition and taking action, and you'll have it.
Yeah.
It always happens. There's nothing, again, woo woo or weird about it. It's how we operate. And
Mhm.
if all children knew how their minds worked at a young age and started looking at their beliefs, uh, because I don't know about you, but I never questioned where my beliefs came from.
Wow.
I mean, why would you? They're there.
Yeah.
For example, so my uncle was quite the trickster. So as a child, my grandmother always made this oyster casserole. It was disgusting. Anyway, she loved it every year. And my uncle would be like, well, they're winking at you. And I'm like, what? So I'm 20 years old having dinner with somebody. She's having oyster spaghetti or whatever it is. And I'm like, how can you eat those with the eyeballs? And she looks at me, she goes, they don't have eyeballs. And I'm like, oh, so my whole life. But that just shows you your whole life you could have a belief about something and it's total BS.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what we do as kids is everything is truth. And we still do sometimes as adults if we're
Oh,
not aware. We're just like,
yeah.
whatever comes in, we're just like, oh, that's got to be true. That's got to be
Oh,
true. But it's not. The things,
no.
there's stuff in your head that you make up that's not true.
Well, yeah, you can tell this too by the example of there's a car accident at a four-way stop sign. There are people on every corner and there are people in the cars. How many versions of truth are there?
As many people as there are, it's the
So,
perspective with
right.
all of
So
your
what's
experiences and the lenses you're looking out of.
exactly? And those lenses were created in the womb. They're in your DNA and from everything in childhood. We don't even come online until we're 5 or 6. So everything you heard, experienced up until then, I call it brainwashing.
Yeah.
And
You
we
just
don't
don't
go
know.
back.
Yeah. You don't know.
And it's those things that, oh, it's the pot roast story. Have you heard the pot roast story, Peggy? I think
If
it's
the
so
listeners,
funny.
if the listeners haven't, can you share it?
Okay. It's so funny to me.
Yeah.
So this newlywed, she gets this beautiful piece of meat, and meat's very expensive right now, so I'd be all mad about this too. And her husband, she cuts the roast, and her husband's like, "Why are you cutting that roast? Perfectly good piece of meat. What are you doing?" Well, my mother does that. Okay. Well, we need to call your mother because she's cutting up good meat like that. No, no, no. So they call the mom, and the mom says, "Well, I do that because grandma does it." And they're like, okay, well, we're calling grandma because this is not good. So they call the grandma, and the grandma's like, well, honey, that's the only way it fit in the pot.
Yes.
So there's no reason but stupidity. Well, it's actually smart because she put it in the pot. But here we are, 3 generations cutting that roast when grandma was like, it's the only way it fits in the pot.
Yeah.
It's funny, huh?
It is funny, but it's kind of sad too because it's the truth. We take that and we have generational things. It's in our DNA. There's certain things that are within us that may not be true at all just because of something long ago. And if we don't
Exactly.
get down to it, or if we don't say, hey, that does not fit me anymore,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
and choose
And we
something
never
else.
question where it came from.
Yes. We don't
You
question
know,
enough.
No, we don't. I've started looking up sayings because they're interesting to me, like lay you out in lace and lavender. What does that mean? Well, it means that you're dead and now you're getting laced in lavender because you smell and you're in the front because that's how they used to do people. But here I am going, I'm going to lay you out in lace and lavender.
Not, having no idea what you're saying.
Not a clue. Not a clue. I know. And
Yeah.
and another thing, as a chiropractor, since I've retired from that just recently, that I have found is that when I said 95% of dis-ease is from thoughts and emotions. Wow. I thought about that. And, I can't tell you how many times people came in and go, I have sciatica, my neck's killing me.
Mhm.
And you get to know them and the truth always comes out. Oh, so and so's a pain in my ass. Oh, and you have sciatica. Hmm.
Mhm.
Maybe we should stop putting stuff in our bodies because every cell in your body knows that that person's a pain in your ass. And your cells go, okay, here you go. Or so and so's a pain in my neck. Or they give me a headache. So please, people, stop putting stuff in your body.
Yeah.
It's bad enough as it is. I know the issues are in the tissues. However, let's not put them there on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so well said because there's so much we trap in ourselves
We do
and we don't
everything.
realize the connection between our thoughts and our feelings and actually physically how we're feeling.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's another thing. Like when you're going through something, you should always ask yourself, where do you feel that in your body?
Yes, yes.
Just kind of check in, because then each body part it relates to certain emotions as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
Lungs are grief, makes sense. Liver's anger. So you want to check in, where are you putting that in your body, and maybe breathe through it and give it some love. It doesn't have to be anything.
Right.
Just love
Yeah.
it, breathe through it, and spit it out, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have to stick there. You don't have to do anything crazy.
No, no.
Just be aware.
Yeah. Be aware of where that is. Take a couple breaths, the awareness of where it's at. Breathe in, trying to like cam it all together, and then just breathe it
Yeah.
out and try to get it out a little bit.
Yeah. I always say thank you. I appreciate, for taking care of me. But I really don't want you here. So, okay. Thanks for the awareness.
Well,
And
sometimes
now
you're not just breathing it out, but just giving it a kick in the rear to get it out.
yeah, awareness is key to everything, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh. If people are like, oh, yes, I need to figure out where Dr. Theresa is, like, and, learn a little bit more about what she's doing and the success zones, and can't wait for this book to come out. How do they get a hold of you? How do they find you?
Well, it's pretty easy to find me. You can go to drteresasmith.com.
Hey,
I figured I'm my own brand, and Teresa's with an H. And you can email me from there. My email is transformationdoc, at Gmail. I'm available for questions, assistance, whatever. And also on that note, I'd like to say, if you want to solve problems and you're really good at it, I'm going to ask you this question, Peggy. If you want to solve problems and you're really good at it, do you know what happens?
people want to know more.
No. If you're good at solving problems, the universe will bring you more.
Oh, yes, yes.
So don't worry about solving the problem. Just keep focusing on your desired reality.
Yes, because what you focus on attracts. And so, yeah, if you don't want any more, if you're good at those, because the universe is just going to keep giving you more.
I
So go
was.
find somebody like Dr. Teresa to help you stop attracting those
Yeah.
problems,
Yeah,
and just
Peggy.
tell them
Thanks.
thank
Yeah.
you, but
Yeah.
I'm going to choose differently.
Exactly.
I'm going to focus
Choice.
on what I want, what
Yeah.
I desire that's aligned with my.
Yeah. From the heart. You it's from the heart because you just want to have it. You just want to. You just have to have it. You just want to have it. It doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter where. You just want it. Want it.
Yes, embrace that.
Go grab it.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, thank you
Cool.
so much for joining me today, Dr. Teresa. As we wrap up, is there anything that you have left unsaid that you feel like the listeners need to hear, or anything that you just want to leave them with?
When you align with yourself, the struggle dies.
Mm, that's worth repeating.
When you align with yourself, the struggle dies.
There's so much truth in that.
Thanks.
And
Yeah.
I think we just need to like end on that and just let everybody ponder that. And then go back and re-listen, because
Yeah.
there are so
Thanks for
many good gems in here. So thank you so much, Dr. Teresa. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Peggy. It was so much fun. Anytime you want to chat, you give me a call.
Yes, yes. And tell me when you go to Maui, because that's where I'm going to book when I'm going to book my ticket.
Okay, I'll let you know. It'll be in the next year.
Sounds great. I'd enjoy
Yep.
it. Thank you so much.